No one wants to say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
We're all thinking it. Just because Mr. and Mrs. Imagineer thinks it's a great idea doesn't mean it's a great idea. There's a long list of dumb decisions that enough people decided were great ideas. Disney being stupid is only painful for us.
From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Toni-Ann.
On this week's The Disney Crush Podcast, Josh finally said the words I've been waiting for him to say for 8 long years. Lots of exciting D23 news coming up on episode 355 of the Disney Crush Podcast.
Get ready, Toni-Ann and Veronika, because this is going to be content creators' dream for the next couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm on the Liberty Bell. Look, I'm on Tom Sawyer's Island. Well, I'll probably do that. I'll probably go to Liberty Bell. Maybe not Tom Sawyer's Island, but I'll go to Liberty Bell.
I think you'll go to Tom Sawyer Island. You won't go in that crooked house. It gave you vertigo last time, and we had to get off the island.
Okay, let's talk about how long it's been since that happened.
Kids were little.
Ooh, little, and they're 21 and 23, so that was a long time ago.
Well, vertigo, that'll keep you off
That's
the
probably,
island.
I bet I haven't been on in 20 years, Toni-Ann. See?
I know.
Well, welcome, Veronika, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Dave, if people don't know, if people have been under a bridge or something, Saturday night was the D23. They called it the Disney Experiences panel. They used to call it the Parks panel, but this was the Experiences panel because they talked about cruise line and other Disney experiences around the world. So it wasn't strictly parks, but it was mostly parks. But it wasn't until 10 o'clock Eastern time on a Saturday night. I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning watching Josh. Rich is laying next to me in bed going, "Can we turn this off yet? Can we turn this off yet?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, it was a long night. And can I just say one thing before we get started? I kind of like a lot of things I do in Disney. I give a lot of things a hard time, and then it's not all. Some things come out to be a lot better than I expected. And can I just say, this is kind of hard for me to say, but Josh's pants, I kind of see why you call them tight pants now. I was impressed. I just got to say I was impressed with old Josh. So
I'm glad that's what you got out of that whole presentation.
I did. That's all I could focus on. It was like once you see it, you just can't stop seeing it. I don't know.
You can't stop
looking at it. I can't stop looking at his tight pants.
I know. I've fallen into that trap myself many times.
I see how it can happen. Yeah.
D23 is the Disney fan convention. It happens every 2 years in Anaheim, and they usually announce what is coming to the parks. And in last week's podcast, if you heard toward the end, I mentioned that usually Walt Disney World is, I hate the term redheaded stepchild, but that's what we feel like, because they literally will say, "Disneyland, you're getting a new land. Disneyland, you're getting a new nighttime parade. Hong Kong, you're getting Frozen. And Walt Disney World, you're getting a bathroom or, a quick service restaurant." So this was a big deal because they actually gave Walt Disney World the majority of the love in this presentation. And we can talk a little bit more about why that is. I can say it right now if you want me to.
Go for it.
Epic Universe is opening up next year, and they, I think, have Disney running scared.
And I think those Imagineers and the heads got together and said, we have to do something, and we have to do it big. It's not going to be a fifth park, but it's going to be big.
Well, if we could talk about a fifth gate, the amount of attractions and experiences they announced Saturday night, I think is equivalent to a fifth gate.
Didn't we say that when Galaxy's Edge came out, Pandora came out, all those started coming out at the same time? I think we kind of said that same thing. Because people were complaining, we said if you take all those attractions and all them,
Pandora, Toy Story Land, and Galaxy's Edge.
Yep. If you take all those, that could almost have been another park.
That's
almost.
7 attractions.
Yeah, almost.
And Animal Kingdom has, I think, 7 attractions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. And that's not including Guardians of the Galaxy and Remy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that other podcasts, a lot of our listeners listen to multiple podcasts. I know you've probably heard a lot of this stuff already. We're going to give it our own. We're going to kind of interject, put our own opinion on some of these things that are coming, because I'm sure every podcast this week is talking about it. And we come out 6 days after we record. So that puts us at a little disadvantage. But I think our take on it might be different than other people's. So, you know, hang with us here for a minute while we talk about what happened. There was one news story I said to you I want to talk about, and it's I'm not going to get into the specifics. Dave and I are not lawyers. I know, shocker, we're not lawyers. But
he told me he was.
No, he lied.
Dave. Wow.
So you had said to me, this is old news. Yes, this is old news that this lady ate at Raglan Road. There was a doctor, the lady, the victim in this case, if we'll call her that, was a doctor. She had a nut and dairy allergy. She had nut and dairy allergies. She ate at Raglan Road. She was very specific with the server of her allergies. And the server assured her, yes, ma'am, we have taken your allergies into consideration. They brought the food out. Now, I've eaten at Disney restaurants with Michael and told him he had a pineapple allergy. And everything that came to the table brought to him had a little flag in it that said allergy. Even though it was a pineapple allergy, the ketchup had a flag in it that said allergy friendly. So that's the lengths that Disney goes to. Now, Raglan Road is not owned by Disney, and I think that's important to say. So the food came out of the kitchen. Some of it had the flags, some of it didn't have the flags, which at first was a kind of a red flag for the family, this lady and her family. But the server again assured her, yes, the chef is aware of your allergies. Everything's been prepared. So long story short, they were with, I think it was her husband and her mother-in-law. And I guess the mother-in-law was tired. So the husband took the mother-in-law back to the hotel. And the doctor, the lady with the allergies, said, I'm going to shop at Disney Springs for a little while. And she went around after dinner, that she went along shopping and suddenly became literally deathly ill and actually did pass of anaphylactic shock. So the husband now has tried to sue Disney under a wrongful death claim. And whether I don't know, I'm not going to even get into what the fact that it's Raglan Road and isn't owned by Disney, what his rights are there, because I don't know. I'm not a lawyer again. But the argument that Disney brought to the court and wants it thrown out is that in 2019, this gentleman signed up for Disney Plus. And in the Disney Plus contract, it says that you will not sue Disney or any of its subsidiaries. So, also, he bought tickets to Epcot online. And when you buy tickets on the Disney website, same thing, same clause. You will not sue Disney or any of its subsidiaries. And I know, like when I sign up for Run Disney, same thing. There's one of these things. When we went to sign up for Michael's DAS pass, before we could even talk to a agent, we had to check one of these boxes that you will not sue Disney or any of its subsidiaries. I don't know as a layperson how far that goes, because I signed up for Disney Plus. My wife died on Disney property due to negligence. Mm-hmm. And I can't sue Disney because I signed up for Disney Plus 5 years ago. I don't know. And I guess the lawyers will figure that out. But
he signed up
for the trial. It's just something interesting to be aware of.
Yeah, he signed up for the trial.
He didn't even subscribe. It was worth mentioning. None of us can die on Disney property.
Well, Toni-Ann, the funny thing is that it was a trial, so he never even signed up or paid for the plan.
It was like a 2-week free trial?
I think it was. I could tell you that my son Zane called me yesterday. Mm-hmm. He was he was upset about this. He's like, "Can you believe Disney? Can you believe that someone's wife died?" He was upset about it. I'm like, "Well, I'm working. I can't really talk about it right now." He sent me the article and all.
Yeah.
He's like, "And that's the company that you got." He was just, yeah.
Well, it's not Disney, but I don't know.
No.
I'm gonna play the bad guy here. She's a doctor, right? Was that correct? She was a doctor?
She was a doctor, yeah.
If you have such an allergy sensitivity to dairy and nuts that it could possibly kill you if you ingest them, I have a hard time thinking that I'm going to go anywhere and entrust my life to a chef or his staff. I just don't know if I could do that. Well, you know what I mean? Even if you tell them, even if you say, look, make sure I don't have any dairy or nuts, I don't know that I would entrust them to be careful with that.
Well,
with my life.
If they normally ate at Disney restaurants, and you and I have gotten things, through the whole allergy route, they put us to the side. We talk to the person making your food. And I think maybe being at Disney, they thought they were getting that Disney care. Did not realize Raglan Road was not. I wouldn't know who owns what or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so.
I get that. But if I have that such an allergy, I just don't, I don't know. It's hard. If it was me personally, Disney or not, I don't think I would entrust my life to any like that.
Well, she wasn't that young, so she has clearly eaten out. She's been able to live her whole life.
Right.
Eating out, entrusting people and all. You know what? They dropped the ball.
Okay. Well,
that's all I'm saying.
You're playing Russian roulette with your life in a way.
I agree.
Well, she was advocating for herself. They said even when they brought the food out, she said, "This is allergy," and the server said yes, and that's the problem. Our friend Glenn, his son has a nut allergy, and he told a story about going to Beaches and Cream, and when the food came out, it didn't have the flags, and his son, who is a kid, said, "This doesn't have the flags. I don't think this is right." And sure enough, it wasn't. And the server yelled at him for not telling him that she had an allergy, even though they did. But
that's my point.
So it does happen, but you have to. I wouldn't take any food without the flags. If it didn't have the flag, like I said, they brought out a bowl of ketchup with a flag in it for Michael because I said he had a pineapple allergy. This is pineapple free ketchup. Like, okay,
yeah, right. But it only takes one time. That's all. That's what I mean. It only takes one time. Yeah. I know it sucks to have to go through life like that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
But, and I think the lawsuit was for $50,000 for medical expenses. Yeah. It clearly wasn't like a $3 million.
It wasn't an exorbitant million.
Well, I don't.
$2 million.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the original amount. I think that's the baseline. It could be way more than that. I don't think we're privy to the real number.
And when Zane called me, I said to Zane, because I really didn't know the story. And like I said, I was working and I'm like, I said, Zane, maybe that's the process. You have to first do arbitration. Like that has to be your first course, which I get that because maybe they could settle without the attorney. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you're saying no, there are no, you cannot sue, that's different.
And it's on everything. Every time you deal with Disney to get to the next page, to make your purchase go through, there is this big glob of fine print that we just click and pass through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, they're such a large company; they got to protect themselves somehow because they have a lawsuit. Well, they have a lot as it is, but
I'm sure
they've got thousands of lawsuits probably right now.
Well,
but that just keeps them a little bit safe, and they'd be suing for every little thing that happens.
Well, I know, but death's a big one.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Maybe you should say like excluding death.
Okay. Well, no, because you can't do that. I agree.
So your arm gets chopped off on a ride, and by no fault of your own, and
listen,
but you didn't die.
look, I had my hand chopped off at Tiana's Bayou.
Oh,
and I didn't sue.
You did.
You didn't.
I didn't sue.
Well, I know, but they found it. You came home with a hand.
That's true. They did find it and stuck it right back on. I appreciate them. It was actually in Lost and Found, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
That's for
you
another
also
day.
lost your chicken, your rooster.
Yeah, but he came back.
He came back.
He came back.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. There was some negligence on their part. For sure, someone dropped the ball, and the waitress probably thought the kitchen staff had it right. The kitchen staff probably thought that wait staff had it right.
The moral of the story is, if you're not sure, you don't say you're sure. You say, you know what? I'm going to check.
Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check.
Yeah.
You never assume. That's
Right.
it. So anyway, and you know what? Whoever delivered that food now lives with that as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which is a big,
Terrible.
yeah, they have to feel terrible. Right. Anyway.
So, better news, D23, Dave, Veronika. D23. We got a lot of news about stuff coming to the parks.
Some good things. Yeah.
I think a lot of good things.
Yeah, I was totally impressed. Since I've been around Disney, I'm like, I think this is probably one of their, I don't know, this is like the most they've ever put out there.
Are we going to be alive to see this stuff, though?
Well,
thank you very much, Tony.
And what are they going to really be able to get to? And are they going to do it all?
No, they say it's all being done. It's all on the drawing board already.
Stop.
Budgets are made.
Blue sky. They're already moving earth.
They're moving dirt. He said that one more time. I was going to jump through the TV and just grab him by the neck. We're moving dirt.
Grab 'em by something.
Dirt's being moved right now. No, it's not.
Dave wants to see it being moved.
You haven't moved any dirt. The only dirt you removed was from the bottom of your shoes, walk around a park taking pictures with everybody, which I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do that because that's.
So you want to be invited to the grand opening, the whole shovel groundbreaking ceremony.
A ceremony with spoons. Yeah, we'll take their dirt in with spoons.
Right.
Yeah.
We can do that ourselves next time we go.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, he said. Well, I mean, we're going to get into this, but he said that Dinosaur Land will be coming down this next month. They're going to start working on Dinosaur Land, and they want to have this done by 2027. Dino Land.
Well, that's an easy
big deal.
That's an easy one though, because it's already there. That a lot of the stuff is there for them to take advantage of. Mm-hmm. They're going to keep Dinosaur open while they do this,
right?
So the attractions, you can still go to that attraction, and I think that that's an easy start. That's an easy start for them. I'll say that. That's an easy way to get started.
Wait. What's going to happen to all the drinking in Restaurantosaurus?
Well, that's going away.
There's going to be a
bartender. What?
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jimmy's going to have to find a new job.
Well, he needs to go over to...
I'm sure Jimmy will be fine. Well, let's in case people don't know, let's not jump the gun. And so where do we want to start? We want to start at the stuff coming in 2025 because...
Sure. I mean, the stuff coming sooner is the good stuff. Yeah.
That's the stuff that we could actually is tangible. We already know that Test Track is under construction and that will be opening in 2025. That will be reopening in 2025, a reimagined Test Track, celebrating today's innovation while highlighting the past, present, and future. The queue will feature 6 distinct exhibits within each room, celebrating the vehicles and the people behind the vehicles that push the envelope to help people get to our next chapter in our motion journey.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that maybe they're going back to a little bit of old Epcot and there'll be a little education in that queue. You might see like the old Model T Ford and then, evolution of the vehicle. That would be interesting.
Yep. The thing that got me jazzed was the announcement that we are going to be getting a new nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom beginning summer of 2025. It'll be Disney Starlight, a nighttime parade. The Blue Fairy will bring the magic of Disney characters from classic Walt Disney animation films to life, including Peter Pan, Encanto, Frozen, and more.
They released the more.
Okay.
They released you're going to also have Alien Encounters on there, Maelstrom, the Great Movie Ride.
In the nighttime parade?
Yeah.
Are you screwing with me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Could you see her face?
I know.
Wow.
Wait. Did I miss news?
Wow. You should have seen. I know you guys can't see her face, but her face was amazing. It was, wow.
Because I hadn't heard that.
Her jaw was like on the ground. It's okay. I was just joking.
Okay.
That's too funny. But that sounds very cool.
And the last thing coming to Walt Disney World in 2025 are 2 new lounges. One we knew about and one we didn't know about. One was the Pirates Lounge in Magic Kingdom. We heard about this last year, that they're going to be opening a Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge. Pretty sure it's going to be serving alcohol in Magic Kingdom without being a sit-down restaurant. It's going to be a lounge. That's the first of that kind of thing where we delved into alcohol without a dining reservation. I don't know.
Yeah, well, keeping score, that's one of the ones we talked about a long time ago, saying that they needed to bring something in like that, because what happens when you bring something in like that, Toni-Ann and Veronika? We've said it before. It brings people to, well, how can I put this? Well, I'm just going to say it like it is. Drunk people eat more and they spend more money.
You're right.
So
that's true. Budget does go out the window a tad bit.
A second lounge we hadn't heard about until Saturday night is a Spaceship Earth themed lounge. Now, I did a little digging because I remembered that Siemens, who used to sponsor Spaceship Earth, used to have a lounge for their employees. It was a Siemens lounge. There's a General Motors lounge over on top in the Test Track building. Well, I happen to remember that there had been a Siemens lounge in Spaceship Earth. So I went digging a little bit, and I'll post it on the Friends of the Disney Crush. I went digging, and I found video of the Siemens lounge from Epcot, from Spaceship Earth. And it looks just like the concept art. Not the decor, but the windows and the view. So I'm assuming, and I'm probably right here, because from the video, the view out the windows looks just like this concept art that Disney gave us. So I'm assuming that the new Spaceship Earth lounge is actually going to be in the geographic location where the Siemens lounge used to be. They're probably going to renovate it with the decor, but the space is already there. They're not building anything new, really. I mean, they might take walls down or put walls up, but they're not like building a new. So they've been hiding a lounge behind a wall, is what you're saying. They've been hiding a lounge all these years. Oh, there's lots of lounges in Epcot. There's I lounges. Did not know. Like I said, there's a General Motors area for that. I heard about. Yes. There's in the Seas. There's a. I went on a tour and I saw in the Seas. There's a private party room, and there's a baby grand piano that is shell encrusted. I remember I saw it on this tour that I went on with Rich a couple years ago. And I think it was REO Speedwagon. One of the guys from REO Speedwagon got married up there, and the tour guide was like, "Oh, and he played a song for his bride on this piano." So I don't know. Oh my gosh. But it's a shell encrusted baby grand piano. I have to see if I can find a picture of it.
That's cool.
But so the next next gathering everyone has, can we put that on like the scavenger hunt list? A picture with the baby grand?
I don't think you can get up to that lounge though. Oh. But we did. I did it on a tour. It was that's neat. Undiscovered Epcot maybe was the tour. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's lounges like that. There's a lounge in Norway. There's like an attic in Norway where they have a party space. A lot of these places you can rent for weddings. Mm-hmm. Wow. So yeah, there's lounges all over property you don't know about. I know. A lot of them are corporate and some of them are for private events. Yeah. I am not in the know. Dave, are you in the know?
Well, no,
we're not.
I just know what Toni-Ann tells me.
And I trust her. Cool. Yeah. So what's next on your list, Toni-Ann? Yeah,
so I think do they have any hookah lounges there?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
It wasn't wasn't announced?
No, I didn't hear anything about a hookah lounge.
That's all we're getting at Walt Disney World in 2025. Like if that wasn't enough, I think the parade by itself, that's what I was talking about in the intro, that we haven't had a nighttime parade since 2016. When I looked it up, it was 2016 was when the Main Street Electrical Parade left us. And he said it very early in the speech. Josh said, a new nighttime parade coming to Magic Kingdom. And That was it.
Well,
I was putting in his hands the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was the top of their list. They went through all the Disneyland stuff like the Coco and the Nighttime Spectacular for Tokyo and Paris and all that stuff. And then they hit the nighttime parade. And as soon as they did, I'm like, I'd like to call her up right now. She's probably jumping up and down.
Me. You knew I was up.
Oh, you're probably jumping up and down, screaming, finally.
You couldn't go. We should have talked on the phone while
I know.
it was going. I didn't know you were up.
Oh, I was up to 1:30. I was up to 1:30 like you. Yeah. I watched the whole thing.
You're so dedicated.
No, I wanted to see. what all the hubbub was all about. Because I normally don't care about it all. Because I'm like, yeah, whatever. These are just going to be more
blue sky
promises that don't ever come to fruition.
Right. Well, an interesting thing about this D23 presentation, besides the fact that it was, and we talked about this last week, that it was very late at night for the East Coast people. Usually it would happen Saturday during the day and we would be able to watch it and the news would then dribble out, which would be probably good for Disney rather than having the news dribble out at 1:00 in the morning, which is what happened actually. They used to always stream this live. Disney stream it live on the Disney Parks blog. They stream it live on their YouTube channel. They'd stream it live on Facebook. Disney did not stream this live. We had to go finding live streams from people elsewhere, like, vloggers on YouTube. And our friend John Self, who is a blogger, had said that Disney had said they were going to have some kind of blocking technology in the building so that people couldn't do that. I thought they were going to take the phones away. Like nowadays, when you go to a concert, sometimes they'll to make you like lock your phones in a bag. So they didn't do that. I'm surprised they didn't do that because they made a big deal about the fact that they were not going to let anybody stream this.
Right.
But somehow people still streamed it. So I guess they didn't do that.
Well, I guess not. One of my favorite YouTubers said ahead of time he couldn't stream it. So he did put, I believe, he followed, their wishes. And he made a video which came out at like 3 or 4 in the morning that I watched about it.
So he was able to record it, but he didn't stream it live out of respect. Because you want to stay on their good graces if they're inviting. If you're hashtag hosted a lot, well, you don't want to not be hashtag hosted.
No, absolutely, and he's just that way. But he put his own video out later on in the morning. So when I got up early for work, 4:30 or so, his video was up. That's how I saw it. So, but some people, I guess, streamed it.
Yeah, some people did. That's how we all watched it.
They did because we were watching it.
I know.
It was funny because you could hear him talking to whoever he was with, and he would move it every now and then. I'm like, dude, stop moving.
Yeah.
A few things that I just want to touch on that are coming to other parks. They're going to have a Walt Disney animatronic in Disneyland. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln plays at the Opera House in Disneyland. They are going to have this Walt Disney animatronic in the same building, and the shows are going to alternate. There's going to be a Walt Disney show with an animatronic Walt in addition to the Abraham Lincoln. So they're going to share the space. It might be a rotating stage.
So this animatronic Walt, I guess Walt's granddaughter is a little upset about it. Not the nephew. The nephew seems to be okay with the idea. But no dirt has been moved on this one either yet. So I'll have to wait and see on that one.
Well, but it's in a building that already, so they don't have to move dirt.
Well, let's just dare to say that the technology is so good now. And that's something that old Joshy Boy Tight Pants said, that the technology is now so good that, with holograms and animatronics, maybe they could just take Walt's head out of the freezer and put it on an animatronic. Maybe that would work.
How old is Walt Disney's granddaughter?
She's up there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
because
I thought you would know, Toni-Ann. You know everything.
I'm just curious how old she is, because did she even know him?
She was probably a baby when he passed.
Right, because he passed. what, 65?
In the 60s.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are kind of upset about this, but I'm with the technology now. Hey, as long as it's not like Frozen, then we're okay. But they're getting really good with this stuff, and if you could kind of intermingle the hologram-ish with the animatronics and that kind of thing, it might be pretty cool. I think I kind of think people say, "Oh, he would hate it."
Sorry, that's my thing.
And
I'm sorry.
he's rolling in his grave, but I don't know. I think he would probably be all for it. He'd be like, "No, man, this is technology. Go for it." You know, I talk to him every now and then. I take him out of the freezer and we talk. We
You
have
talk
a
to
little.
Walt?
Yes, we do. We talk a little bit, and then I stick him back in the freezer. Well, not me.
I think it's just different, us looking at it than his family looking at it. It's like if someone in your family passed away. Well, I mean, I don't know if she remembers him or whatever. But if
Joanna Miller
yeah.
One of Roy's kids was involved with this project. I think it was
Roy Jr.
No, Roy Jr. His Walt's great nephew, Roy P. Disney. So it's Roy's great grandson helped make this. And Joanna Miller. How old is Joanna Miller?
Here's what I found.
No, she is. Yeah, she knew him. She was born in 1956, and I think Walt died in 60. When did Walt Disney die?
65?
I found this on the web.
December 15th, 1966.
Yeah, okay.
So she was 10 when he died.
Okay.
So okay. She knew him.
She knew him. I feel it's different for families to judge that than us. For us, it's cool. For them, it's like, wow. Especially if you think maybe how good this animatronic is going to be. Maybe it might be a little creepy. But maybe I just wouldn't go in. Let everyone else enjoy it. And I just wouldn't go in if it bothered me.
Yeah, but everybody would go to it. I mean, if you, I would go see it. Unlike the Hall of Presidents. I mean, what? You don't rope drop that. Would you ever rope drop Hall of Presidents? No.
No, but it's
just there if you want to go take a nap, get out of the heat. But you're not rope dropping it. It's an afterthought. How many times have we done it in the last 10 years? Once. I rest my case.
But people would go see Walt.
Absolutely. I'd go see Walt. And probably. Yeah, for sure.
But that's supposedly coming in 2025. So there's also going to be a nighttime spectacular in Paris that includes projections down Main Street and the Destiny. The Disney Adventure will set sail from Singapore, and the Destiny is coming. So those are, But that wasn't the big news, Dave and Veronika.
What was the big news?
Well, we knew they were going to do something in Dino Land. Josh had hinted at that 2 years ago. We knew they were thinking about doing something in Magic Kingdom beyond Thunder Mountain. What we never heard a hint of until Saturday night was Monsters, Inc. coming to Hollywood Studios. None of us saw that coming.
Mm-mm. Nope. That was a big one. That was Billy Crystal. Was that Billy Crystal?
Yeah, Billy Crystal came in.
Yeah, Billy Crystal was the one that was kind of overseeing that segment, and that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And our friend Deirdre said she was jumping up and down when the words Hollywood Studios came out of Josh's mouth because, she thought for sure, as did we, they were going to say, "Oh, coming to Tokyo," because that's what always happens, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And when they said coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios, it was like, what did they say? What?
Yeah, I was happy about that too. And they're going to have the first suspended coaster, the first one ever in Disney.
In Disney.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the door ride, which we've all Disney fans who have said, what rides haven't they built yet that is like just itching to be built? And that door ride has been, since the day that movie came out, that door ride, that one and Yzma's roller coaster from Emperor's New Groove, those are two rides that Disney fans have been waiting for. We still haven't heard about about Izma, but we have heard about the door ride coming. And I always knew it had to be suspended. I always knew it would have to be a suspended roller coaster. When I was a kid, my favorite roller coaster when I was a kid growing up was the Big Bad Wolf in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. And I, for years, when I thought about the door ride, said that's the ride that it needs to be. It needs to be a suspended roller coaster, which is what the Big Bad Wolf was, which is no longer. That was my favorite, and they got rid of that roller coaster. But suspended roller coasters are fun. So I'm excited.
I'm excited about it. Every time I go by, I walk through Hollywood Studios, I think I want to go get my pictures taken with, all the monsters characters, whatever. I never get there, or there's a line. But
yeah.
Do you think it's going to be, okay, when Disney says roller coaster, it's from above and all this stuff, I think Peter Pan. I don't think Busch Garden roller coaster.
It was,
but you know what I'm saying?
A suspended roller coaster is a thing.
No, I know.
Okay.
But how much of a thing will it be being at Disney? Will it be a
There's
Busch Garden?
concept. There's concept art.
Uh-huh.
It's not a concept art. There's a model. They built a model. You have the model? I sent it to you?
Yeah, no, I got it. I took pictures of it.
I saw that, the all white model.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't notice the roller coaster in it though.
Oh, it's a big winding in and out, up and down.
So it's going to be like a real scary roller coaster.
That's why everybody's so excited about it, because we're like, yes, finally something, not just for kids, but for adults too.
Oh.
And it's going to be a combination of animatronics and screens, I'm sure. Kind of like the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a trackless ride. It's not going to be the regular roller coaster. It's going to be the suspended. So that was cool.
Well, yeah. It's going to be a real roller coaster. It's going to be too big for me.
No, it's not.
I would. I think
it'll be Veronika friendly.
I don't think it will be.
Did you hear your brother, by the way, say that Slinky Dog scared the bejesus out of him?
I laughed.
I was taken aback. I couldn't believe it.
That's for me. That's my.
He lost his glasses. It was pushed them all over the place.
He broke his sunglasses.
Okay, broke them. I mean, okay.
Well, he didn't expect it to just take off. That 0 to nothing. Yeah.
It's not even that bad. That's why I was so surprised when he said it. I'm like, what, Slinky Dog?
Slinky Dog is outside, so you see it when you're walking up to it. So that's what I was like, what do you mean you didn't know? You saw it. You saw it. I know, but I was thinking it was going to be like a kiddie coaster. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, but I think Monsters, Inc. will be on that level. It'll be family friendly. It won't be like Rock and Roller Coaster
Well, that's it. I was wondering if it was going to be like to me, a real roller coaster is, Busch Gardens or Universal. They have.
Well, when I say I went on this roller coaster at Busch Gardens. Yeah. Remember, I was in 8th grade. So what year was that? So. Yeah. So.
Well, either way, it's exciting. It's going to be a new land, and I think they've done a really good job at theming any land.
Right.
At Hollywood. I love Toy Story. Not a lot of shade, but the theming though, I love it. So I look forward to that.
The big question is where it's going to be. And when you look at the concept art, it looks like Streets of America in the background. It's supposed to be Monstropolis. Mm-hmm. The buildings in the concept art look a lot like Streets of America, and people are like pulling things out of the concept art from the background, saying that's Muppets. That's the Muppets area. Other people are saying it can be anywhere, and the logical place for it to be would be the launch bay, and that way and back. And a lot of people they're going crazy, pulling up the Disney maps and saying, look at all the greenery here in this section. But you have to understand the Disney maps, like your map on your phone from the My Disney Experience app. Those are not real maps. Those are map-ish. You have to pull up Google Earth to see, because they're like, oh, there's nothing behind this building. Yes, there is. There's buildings all over behind everything at Hollywood Studios. So you've got to look at Google Earth and see what's actually behind the launch bay, what's actually behind the Muppets. Unfortunately, I've learned in the last 5 days that Google Earth has not updated their Hollywood Studios map since Galaxy's Edge was under construction. Because when you look at the map, the Google Earth map of Hollywood Studios, it's all like construction. It's a construction zone back where Galaxy's Edge is. There's no Galaxy's Edge. There's just Earth moved and bobcats and things. So, it's a little hard to visualize when you look at the Google Earth map, but Galaxy's Edge is pretty much right behind Muppets. And then there's kind of a road along the side there. So I don't know that it could go there. If you go over to Launch Bay, there are lots of buildings back there. There are lots of cast buildings. There's a parking garage back there. But that stuff maybe Disney will let go of and demolish if it's for the greater good. Because it's cast member buildings. It's
They don't care if you take their break.
They can probably put that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now, our friend Lauren Nothnagel was on a VIP tour with her travel agency this week, and unofficially her tour guide said it was going to be where Launch Bay is. But that was unofficial. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Yeah, and Disney has a record of using existing rides and taking them away and putting things in.
Right.
Replacing existing rides with garbage, really, like Maelstrom, Great Movie Ride, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. No one wants to say it out loud, but they're all
Oh, turkey.
We're all thinking it. They do things like that. Just because Mr. and Mrs. Imagineer thinks it's a great idea doesn't mean it's a great idea. There's a long list of dumb decisions that enough people decided were great ideas. Disney being stupid is only painful for us and others.
Mm-hmm. Well, there were at least a couple turkeys in there, I'm sure.
I'm going to have to talk to the editor. This is unacceptable.
I will tell you this.
Here comes Michael.
Oh,
here comes Michael. Mikey, you got no shirt on. Hey, Veronika can see your chest, man.
Minute.
Yeah? For sure. Nice chest, dude.
I can see your chest, dude.
Is your chest really?
He's going to come back in one of my shirts. That's what he's been doing lately. He just goes to the dryer and pulls out one of my shirts and puts it on. I mean, I think Launch Bay would be nice if they did, because there's not much going on there right now. But, and we're going to talk about this when we get to Magic Kingdom, but I have to tell you, people they feel very strongly about Muppets. But I went to Hollywood Studios with 6 other people in June, and Michael wanted to go see the Muppets 3D movie, and no one else wanted to go with us to see. Oh, so you put on Dominic's shirt backwards.
Huh?
So how would you feel if Disney closed the Muppets movie? How would that make you feel? That would make you feel sad? But what if they brought a Monsters, Inc. ride instead?
Okay.
So there you have it.
Well,
no, but really, I mean, I remember when we were at G3, a bunch of people decided to go to Baseline Tap House versus go see the Muppets. Again, like I said, I went with Mandy's family and Scott and Karen a few months ago. And nobody wanted to go see Muppets with me and Michael. Michael wanted to go. So you can say, I love this and I don't want to let it go. But when was the last time you went to it?
Right.
So, and I think we're going to explore that more when we get to Magic Kingdom.
Well, I do want to just throw in that today I saw somewhere they have started a petition on, what is it,
Change.org.
Thank you very much. Change.org to save the Muppets at Disney. Just so you know. So if anyone really feels strongly, there you go.
They did it for Splash Mountain too, and it didn't work.
No.
And I think people felt more strong about Splash Mountain. Let's just say that Splash Mountain was a ride that consistently had 90-minute waits.
Yeah.
And Disney was like, we're going to let it go and bring in something new. So I don't think that Disney's going to really care about something that's been a walk-on for the last 15 years.
No.
So
I mean, I agree. And they'll always leave something, so you might still keep the fountain. I mean, there'll be something, but put somewhere else. There'll always be. I think there'll always be
homage,
Easter eggs, or maybe in Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square, the Muppets in the windows. I think you'll still have Muppets somewhere.
Yeah. So we don't really know where it's going to be. I think Launch Bay makes more sense, especially when I did look at the Google Earth maps. But I don't know. I could be not looking at the maps 100% correctly, especially since it was really hard to visualize because Galaxy's Edge was still under construction in those Google Earth maps. So I don't know how much land is actually still available back there because it was all pretty much dirt in the pictures.
Right.
One thing that he didn't mention, which is surprising to me, and one thing that isn't in the coming in 2025, Voyage of the Little Mermaid show. We had news articles 2 years ago or a year ago or something that the Voyage of the Little Mermaid show was going to be back any day now. But it's not. And they made no announcement about it at D23. So I don't know what the status of that is.
I don't know. Do you believe it's all moldy in there, like people say?
But they were supposedly working on it. They announced it was coming back. They made a big announcement about it. Well, Voyage of the Little Mermaid returning. I think it was at the last the Destination D23, which is the one they have here on the alternating years. In June, there was an article. First look at the new Little Mermaid show coming to Hollywood Studios. Little Mermaid, a musical adventure coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios later this year. So they were saying it was opening in 2024, but there was no announcement. There was no mention of it last weekend.
Well, so maybe because they've been announcing it.
Yeah,
then I'm still hopeful. Yeah. I'm hopeful.
And it might be close to being done, so why mention it? Let's get the new stuff.
They could have given us an opening date.
Well, that's true, because they kind of did that with other things like Tiana.
Hey. You know what?
Yeah, they said when Tiana was going to open in Disneyland in November.
Yep. So I don't know. You're right. They should have maybe mentioned it.
I think it's hard because we can't see construction. You're not seeing anything. So until they change the sign out front, you don't know what's happening. We just don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
So do you want to move on to another park? Mm-hmm. Oh, one more thing they did announce, which was kind of weird, is that there's going to be a new Mandalorian Grogu layover at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which is strange because we've never seen the Millennium Falcon in Mando and Grogu in the Mandalorian. That there's never been a Millennium Falcon crossover into the Mandalorian. Well, so
I think
is one coming?
Well, I think that ride is not as popular as I thought it was going to be. I think, and they need to do something, and I think that is smart on their. Even though it doesn't really jive, I think it's probably smart on their part because the Mandalorian and Grogu are so popular. And that's going to pull people right in there. It'll pull me in there. See, they're smart because I don't even care I could care less about the ride. I'll go on it every now and then, but I will go see it now. I'll go see that if they put him in there and Grogu in there.
So the other parks that we talked about Epcot now. We talked about Hollywood. Animal Kingdom, we knew was coming. We had seen some Disney Parks blogs in the past year about tropical Americas coming to Animal Kingdom. And they had announced at the Destination D23 last year here in Orlando that Zootopia was coming to the Tree of Life. We now know that Zootopia will be opening in 2025. And Tropical Americas, we kind of touched on this in the beginning, will be opening a projected opening of 2027. And they're going to have the Encanto Casita, which is the house. And the way they're going to tie the casita into the Animal Kingdom theme is they are going to have the day of Antonio getting his gift. If you have not seen Encanto, Antonio's gift is that he communicates with animals. So it's going to be very animal heavy. So that is supposed to be a family friendly ride. And there's going to be shopping and restaurants in a tropical Americas type flavor, I guess. And then Indiana Jones, we've all known this was coming. We've all suspected it was coming, is coming, replacing Dinosaur. And the cool thing that we found out on Saturday night is it's not just going to be the same ride that they've had in Disneyland for years. It's going to be a new ride. It's going to be a new storyline. I think it's a Mayan temple. So it's going to be a mythical Mayan creature. I don't know. But
yeah, it sounds cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better than Dinosaur.
Yeah. And
oh, sorry. I know you love
people
Dinosaur.
don't know. They do have an Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland, and it is the same ride vehicle technology that we have for Dinosaur. So it's an easy, it's kind of like retheming an existing building. So they're not going to have to build this from scratch. They've already got the ride vehicles. They've already got the ride system in place. They're going to have to retheme it completely. So it might not take as long. Well, they're saying 2027 as building something from scratch. And Josh indicated that they would be doing this in phases, I guess, closing things in phases so that you're still going to have time to ride Dinosaur one more time before it goes away. So I think they're going to give you plenty of lead time telling you when it's going to close. They're going to say it'll probably be closing on this day and you'll have time to get over there to ride it one more time. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, for you maybe. Not me and Toni-Ann could care less. But for you.
I don't ride Dinosaur.
I like it.
So will you ride Indiana Jones? It's going to be the same ride vehicle.
Yep.
I'm asking Dave. Dave doesn't ride Dinosaur.
Well, of course, well, I'll try it.
On the video, it looks like you're looking at me. Never mind.
Yeah, I will definitely try it. And then if I like it, I like it. And then if I don't, then I won't try it anymore.
Yeah.
The carousel, they're going to have a nice carousel for the little kids. Yeah. And it seems kind of cool because they're going to have not just your, the typical horses and stuff, but so they're
going to have animals from Disney movies like Kevin. They did show the Kevin ride vehicle, the Kevin character from the carousel on display at D23 on Sunday. So there are pictures of it out there. I've got them on our Facebook group. And that looks really nice.
Yeah, I might even do that myself on that one. I might even get on that one.
and that'll basically replace the Triceratops spin.
Right.
It's probably going to be in the same footprint as a Triceratops spin. So.
Yep. I'll do that.
So basically, Dino Land had 3 rides back when Primeval World was open, and it's going to have 3 rides again. So.
And actually, I'll be glad, the whole carnival games, all of that. I know they spun it into a storyline. I get all that. But you know what? I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something.
It wasn't my jam. And when I brought my kids, it was always, can we play? Can we play? And I'm like, no, we're Disney.
But let me tell you something. Mandy's kids wanted to play last time we were there.
Uh-huh.
And being that they were the only kids playing, you knew one of them was going to win a prize.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true because the other rides have got, yeah.
They were the only ones playing, so
Yeah.
they were playing against each other.
The one time we went to the midnight Moonlight Magic, and part of the, you go in, you get a popcorn bucket, and you get some perks, which are awesome. And one time, I believe they had tickets to play games.
Oh.
The lines were so long. I've never seen that many people back there playing those games. It was crazy. So we did not play.
So you didn't get to do it.
Yeah, which is fine. But I've never, it was busy. Normally it's quiet.
Dirt is moving. Josh said dirt is moving in Dinoland. Can't wait to see. The concept art looks beautiful. And the concept art goes beyond. Okay. So I'm looking at the concept art. You've got this building here, which is Restaurantosaurus now. Then you've got this building here, which is where Dinosaur was. And it's a Mayan temple now. So that's what's going to be the Indiana Jones ride. That's the building where Chester and Hester is. That's it. Yeah, I see. So the casita seems to be sitting on the geographic location of Primeval Whirl based on this concept art. So that'll be fun.
Well, you've said it for many years. The place needs to be bulldozed down and start over again.
I did. And I even said, how many years ago did I say Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Years ago, I said Indiana. Like years and years ago, I said Indiana Jones. So, Josh, he's been listening to me. Let's talk about the big one, I guess. The big one, some of it we knew about, some of it was a surprise on Saturday night. A couple years ago, Josh, at a very uninspiring D23, Josh did not announce anything new coming to us. He talked about what might be coming. He called it Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. And he said it was a blue sky idea, but he didn't announce anything for sure. This year we got to the heart of the matter. They announced that we would be getting a Villain's Land. And that was something we knew was an idea for years. Let me tell you, the night before D23, I was in a chat with a bunch of our friends, as I am a lot. And considering all the stuff that Universal has announced coming to Epic Universe next year, one of our friends said the only thing that's going to get me excited that Josh could possibly say tomorrow night is Villain's Land. And the whole night went. It got to be 1:00 in the morning. We heard all this stuff that we kind of already knew about, except we didn't know about Monsters, Inc. And we didn't know about the next thing I'm going to say besides Villain's Land. The whole night went on, and it wasn't until the very end of the presentation that the magic mirror came up on the screen. Josh was like saying goodnight to everybody and kind of faking us out. And the magic mirror comes up on the screen and says, "Whoa, one more thing. You promised us a Villain's Land," or something like that. And we're getting a Villain's Land, Dave. Now, it would be ideal. And this is something Rebecca had said on Sunday when we were thinking about where's all this stuff going to go? Because, we all chat about what we heard the night before. And she had said, theme-wise, it would make more sense if it kind of came off of Fantasyland, like Fantasyland and then Villain's Land, like a tunnel going from Fantasyland into Villain's Land, because this is where all the heroes live in Fantasyland. And the villains, their enemies, live in Villain's Land through this tunnel. I don't know that that's what's going to happen, because when I looked at the actual press release from Disney, they are still saying that it is going to be Beyond Thunder Mountain. It says, And cruising just around the bend, guests will be able to venture beyond Big Thunder Mountain into an all-new land dedicated to Disney villains. So that to me says that it's actually over. It's not going to be by Fantasyland. The other announcement that they made that none of us knew about was Cars. Cars Land. There's going to be Cars in Frontierland. That, if you look at the concept art, Cars is going to be plopped right down on top of the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. That's what the concept art shows, if you look at the picture. So, I don't know exactly where the villains are going. But the press release says beyond Big Thunder Mountain. So, because I thought, well, it'll go, kind of behind Fantasyland, behind the Haunted Mansion. And again, this is where I took out the Google Earth map and I looked at what's there and where's the highway and there is land back there behind Haunted Mansion. But here's the thing about Disney. It's deceptively small. Like you think it's big, but like walking from Frontierland to Tomorrowland really isn't that big a deal. But the way that Disney is set up, you don't realize how close things are. Mm-hmm. So maybe it is going to be from Haunted Mansion but you're going to go around from Big Thunder Mountain.
Well, it'd be nice if they could get rid of all those dead ends and kind of make it flow better.
And that's something that they talked about. They talked about crowd flow. So anyway, yeah. So Cars Land. We didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, 2 rides there.
Yeah, I think one of them is going to be a kiddie ride. They said it's probably something like Alien Swirling Saucer. There's a kiddie ride in Disney California Adventure that is a Cars kiddie ride, and it's kind of like Alien Swirling Saucer. So it's like Mater doing dancing or something weird like that. I don't know. So
I don't know. I mean, I've only seen the Cars ride in California, and I thought that's probably really cool.
It is, and it's similar to the ride system at Test Track, but it's better.
Well, I like that you get to race people.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it's set up that you're going along with someone, and then all of a sudden, okay, now you're at a starting line and you're going to race.
Mm-hmm. But again, like Indiana Jones, they've said this is going to be its own thing. It's not going to just be the same ride that we already have in Disneyland. It's going to be a new
because it's not going to
concept.
What they said is I guess it's not going to be cars. It's going to be trucks or something else. No. But
something to do with to make it fit into Frontierland a little better.
So I guess you will race. There is some kind of finish line. So
it's going to be 4-wheel drive swamp buggies.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not Frontierland. Okay.
And we kind of talked about this. We had an idea about that before. We were on the Monorail Tales podcast, and we were playing a game like making new rides up. And that was one of our ideas, was to have a 4-wheel drive swamp buggy ride.
Oh yeah, that was our idea.
Remember? Yeah, it was another idea. Yeah. So we'll put that as another one of our ideas that we had come up with. They're stealing all our ideas. So
the thing that wasn't said on Saturday night was where they were putting this Cars stuff. Mm-hmm. And people speculated, and there was a rumor, and then Disney finally announced it early in the week that yes, the rumor was true that the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island were going away. And that's when the internet lost its ever-loving mind. Mm-hmm. Now, I personally feel like, again, like with the Muppets, like I said, I've gone to Tom Sawyer Island probably 3 times in 20 years. And I go to Disney if not monthly, every other month. So your casual Disney visitor has gone even less than me. The Liberty Bell, Dave, you always tell the story of the couple that you met on the Liberty Bell that said they've been coming to Disney for 20 years and they'd never ridden the Liberty Bell.
That is correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. So people like wax poetically about the lost nostalgia of these things, but you're not showing Disney how much you love these things by not visiting them. Disney knows how many people get on those rafts over to Tom Sawyer's Island. Disney knows how many people. They have a clicker when you're going on the Liberty Bell. They know how many people go on the Liberty Bell every day. It's not a lot. Most people walk past those things. So,
yeah, and nobody's Nobody's rope dropping Tom Sawyer's. Nobody's rope dropping Liberty Bell. They're not. It's just it's one of those things that you just casually we've dismissed it for years and years until we finally did it, and then every now and then we go on it now just because we enjoy it. But okay, I mean that's the way it is.
Well, I think okay.
Go ahead, say what you want to say.
Consenting view.
Okay.
I don't think it's because people don't like it. I think it's because there's no hype surrounding it. I don't think it's on your Genie Plus. Hurry up. Do I want to get on? I think Disney has gotten us to look at certain things as more of a, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I don't think, especially if you're going for 2 days, let's say you have a 2-day ticket, you're just coming in, you're going to do those things that are popular that you think you must have to do. I think people overlook it not because they don't want to do it. I think some people don't even think about it.
Of course not.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's that we go and be like, oh no, don't get on the Liberty Bell. We're going to go. I think it's not promoted. They used to have a dessert party. Didn't they have a Tiana dessert party on there? Mm-hmm. So I bet they did well for that. But I'm just saying, I just don't think it's fair to judge it like a ride as far as volume. That's all.
But here's the thing, Veronica. We complain about the crowds at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So they need people eaters. The Liberty Bell and Tom Sawyer Island are not people eaters. People don't gravitate to them. Well, so
okay,
by putting in 4 or 5 more e-ticket attractions, which is what we're being told we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting 1 e-ticket attraction with cars plus a kiddie ride. They said we're going to be getting 2 e-ticket attractions with this Villains Land.
Right. So, and I'm not, no. I'm not arguing against anything. I just think if that's how they judge, I mean, honestly, if it goes away, it goes away. I'm not either way. I just think it's, I think it's disposable.
Tom Sawyer is? Did your kids read Tom Sawyer?
I don't know. Probably not. Probably the,
I don't think so.
The shortened version in a 5-chapter reading book.
Right. But that's the thing. Like, it's not.
I agree with you.
We are 50s and 60s. When we were kids, we read Tom Sawyer.
Right.
But I don't think kids nowadays read Tom Sawyer. First of all, it's not politically correct, let's be honest. So schools aren't embracing it anymore. Right. And so it's really not relevant to today's kids. And
right. No, you think I'm defending...
Dave, what did Walt say, Dave? What did Walt say?
We have to keep moving on. No, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not saying let's not move on. I'm saying I think Liberty Bell could have been better. I think if they would have put the Dapper Dans on there. How about that? And did a little musical quartet going around. Like they did. They do nothing to promote the Liberty Bell. 0. And I think that's why it's low. Well, but that's beside the point. It doesn't matter.
Let me tell you that the other day, did I send this to you? An analyst and professor of theme parks, entertainment, an attraction specializing in AI tech, queuing, and tiki.
Wow.
Bill Zanetti put on X the other day. It's hard to see from the art, but there are new ponds. Okay. A lot of people are upset because the water is going away, because the water, the landscaping, the beauty.
That's my problem with it.
The
and I
rivers
agree
of
with
America.
that.
And that's Mandy, my friend Mandy
Yeah.
Malinowski, my travel advisor. She's upset, not about the boat itself, not about Tom Sawyer Island.
Me too.
About the water going away.
I agree.
But this is what Bill says. He says, it's hard to see from the art, but there are new ponds, streams, and waterfalls that are being created. So it is not a total loss of water. There will actually be more kinetic energy with this than what is currently in the area. But as for the why, remember that the rivers of America and Walt Disney World are connected by a lock to the Seven Seas Lagoon. Major challenges exist to this river system, and drainage in the area needs to be accounted for. The foundation of the river isn't in great shape, nor is the filtered water. The nature on this river surrounding the island system also prevents construction on the islands. To retain any of this river would be impossible, as the connection would need to remain near the Thunder Mountain to the lock. So to construct beyond Big Thunder Mountain like they want to do, there's a lock there that connects the rivers of America to the Seven Seas Lagoon. And that would have been engineering wise difficult, if not impossible, is what they're saying. One of the key drivers of this redo was requested by park management itself. This is what Dave just said, to eliminate the dead ends, like the dead end at the end of Big Thunder Mountain there.
Right.
That can't be accomplished while retaining the navigable river system. So you have an aging river basin in dire need of resurfacing, logistical nightmares to improve islands, and dead-end pathways on two sides. Plus, access must be created to get to the other side of the river system for any expansion. I can tell you that countless rides were taken on the riverboat by key people involved in this decision, and it was not taken lightly. They know they will have to blow everyone out of the water with what gets built on the site. Cars being the IP selected for Walt Disney Imagineering by others. Cars makes ridiculous financial and demographic sense. It sells merchandise like no other franchise in Disney history. Cars, that's, kids love cars. It will eventually allow for the removal of the Tomorrowland Speedway, which is true. If we've been saying for years, we hate the Tomorrowland Speedway. Why is it there? Why is it there? Because kids want to drive cars. That's why it's there. If they put in a cars attraction where you get into a car, they can finally say, let's get rid of this stupid Speedway now. Right?
Right. No,
So
I think you think I'm arguing. I'm not.
No, I know. I'm just reading you what this. I'm reading this for other people that are naysaying. So removal of the Tomorrowland Speedway on the other side of the park will free up more valuable real estate in the park. It appeals to the Floridian demographic as it appeals to families. Cars is also a friendly story that will provide an alternative to the scary villains land beyond. So they wanted to, if they're going to build a scary villains land, they needed to put in something for the kids, kinder, gentler characters, which are the Cars characters. How to fit Cars into the region is actually very real. As JL did for concepts for the original films, going through places like Yellowstone, but were never realized, though the adjacent franchise Planes and Fire Rescue does take place in a Yellowstone-like national park. So I guess, what's his name? John Lasseter. John Lasseter did concepts. The original films were going to go through Yellowstone. So they didn't in the end, but that was the original concept. There's a lot more to this concept, and you will see some more Cars-related IP coming around the bend that will eventually explain it more. The aesthetics of the land are based on Grizzly Peak Recreation Area in Disney California Adventure. Obviously, there are some aesthetic differences, and it's a Cars ride instead of a Rapids ride, but that's a product of MK having Tiana's so close and the IP requirements set above. In the end, there was no way to save the existing river system. The new lands have major elevation changes that can't be accomplished without altering the river, and the reality is they have an obligation to push for more capacity in the park, even if it means at the cost of something so big. It will be tough to see the next 5 to 10 years, but I assure you it will be worth it, and the new water features will be much cleaner and feel a lot more fun.
This reminds me of Pandora. I mean, you go to Pandora, you get all these amazing waterfalls and little rivers and stuff like that. Disney knows how to do that kind of thing. And that river system that the Liberty Bell is on is huge. If you look at it on a map or Google it, it's really big. And I can understand that we want water and people want more water. But when do you ever really sit down and look over the water? You don't really do it. And if you have these new lands coming in, you just mentioned it. They just said that they're going to be incorporating all these. Look at Canada. Go to Canada and Epcot. It's got an amazing waterfall. Those type of things that are embedded into those lands are going to bring the water features to you, kind of like Moana in Epcot, in a larger scale, if you will.
Okay. Well, I think there is a lot, and like I said, I'm not stopping anything. It just is what it is, and it'll be fine when it happens, as long as it doesn't wind up like the promise of Communicore, which to me was a whopping fail. Just saying.
But it was what we were told we were getting, Veronika.
Oh, not in the pictures. No. That's why I don't trust their illustrations. That's number one.
Well, concept art is just that. It's concept art.
Okay. So there you go. So a couple fountains. I think a lot of times the water, you don't sit at the water. I get that. But it provides a whole vibe. Like when Dave and I go from one land to another, we are normally on the boardwalk and that whole walkway. We are out of the crowd. We are on that walkway. And I think you don't realize really what the water provides, even though it's not shouting, yeah, look at me, I'm water, And I thought about it and I thought it's like, to me, going out to eat and sitting on someone's dock in a restaurant, or going to a mall and eating in like the food court.
Right.
In the middle of stuff, or choosing to say, when you go to a restaurant and they say, do you want to eat inside or outside on the water? Well, outside on the water.
Yeah.
I think there's just a different vibe. And I think they have to do it right to keep that and not make it just another concrete area. So that's just my view.
I get it, but I also see what they're saying about logistically.
Yeah, I know they can't keep it. I mean, that's why I'm not arguing, like, don't change it.
Yeah.
But I think it will make a difference. That's all.
I think it's interesting that in the decision to do this, they had it in the back of their minds, we can get rid of that dang Tomorrowland Speedway eventually.
Yeah. Well, that's been, Yeah,
and that's real estate. That they could put a cool attraction there. Yeah. Because that's actually big. When you think of it, you just see the front, the entrance to it when you walk by it, but it goes back, the track and everything. That's a big piece of real estate.
It is. It wiggles through. Yeah. I agree. Yep. So we'll see. That'll be next.
But it's going to be a couple of years, and there's going to be walls for a while. That's going to be hard to watch, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be like Epcot for a while. Well, we had to wait for Pandora. How long? 8 years? Whatever it was. 7, 8 years. So this is going to take some time, all this stuff. If it ever does come to life, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, now the Villains Land, all we were really told, we weren't told, we weren't given any descriptions of rides. We were told there were going to be 2 e-ticket attractions, shopping and dining. So that's all we know so far. Galaxy's Edge gave us 2 e-ticket attractions, which we decided then the Millennium Falcon was kind of a dud, but it was promised to be 2 e-ticket attractions and shopping and dining. So is it going to be a land on that scale, Galaxy's Edge scale? Probably. I
think
hope so.
I
Because you
think
want
so.
Disney to always better itself.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could be that and more.
Yeah, I think they could do a lot with little shops in there. And yeah.
They haven't said which villains. There was some, a few years back, there was some leaked concept art of a Maleficent roller coaster. But they haven't said anything.
Well, you know what? Maybe they don't know. They had to make this announcement they had a deadline to make the announcement, and now they're all, they'll figure it out.
They probably don't want to promise anything until they know for sure. Mary Poppins.
I know. And that never came up again, did it?
Mm-mm. Nope. They did. It was interesting. One of the things that I saw in the Disneyland announcements was the new Avengers attractions. And one of them looks just like Sum of All Thrills that used to be at Epcot in the Innovations Pavilion. That what was it? It was a simulated roller coaster on like these arms.
I did it. Yeah.
That's exactly what this thing looks like. This ride coming to Avengers Campus in Disneyland.
Well, actually, it was really cool. I don't know if you ever did it.
Oh, I've done. Yeah, I used to do it with Dominic all the time. But it's just, I'm just wondering how, like, I guess it'll be in a bigger building, so they'll have more of those arms. But I don't see that being,
right.
I see that being a slow loader.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while. It was slow because you created your roller coaster first.
Yeah.
And having a young kid, I did it with Zane, you did it with Dominic, as they're making their roller coaster, right? That took a long time.
Yeah, so they probably won't let you make your own, but they did say it will be changeable, which is what Sum of All Thrills was. You would program it, and decide what your roller coaster was going to do. Mm-hmm. So it's changeable.
Maybe they'll just be
select. Yeah. Would you like to go to this, or would you like to fight Thanos, or would you like to do this?
Yeah,
or
so they could move you kind of. But I could remember it taking a while to get buckled in because it was a headset too. I mean, so they'll have to either have a lot of them or figure something out.
I'm sure that,
Well, technology is different now too.
Right.
We did.
Like I remember, I recently saw a thing about how the Millennium Falcon works, and it's kind of on a carousel, and there's 28 of them. I think 28 of them, or there's 4 sets of 7 or something. Wow. And so those little capsules that you're in. They're on a carousel, and that's why the cast member is always like, quick, get in your seatbelt, because it's got to turn to let the next people out. You're in it's like a carousel, and you're turning so the next, and that's how so maybe it'll be something like that, where it's, that's how they get so many people loaded into Millennium Falcon at once. Even though you're only seeing 6 of them, those people.
Right. I know. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting couple of years. There's no real projected dates yet for those things, for Cars Land and Villains Land. And
well, the one thing I will say is that the walls in Magic Kingdom should not be like Epcot was. It's not going to really detour you and make you, go right.
Yeah,
so to have to go and come back and left. I mean, it's just blocking off a quarter of the park.
Because you already really couldn't walk back there anyway. It was
right. Dead end.
Yeah, Epcot was a mess for years.
Yeah.
I mean, just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think Magic Kingdom, I don't think the walls will be so, such a big deal.
Yeah, the way it's set up is going to hopefully be a little better.
You're probably going to lose that back, like gangway, the plank that we always would walk on.
Yes. But it's not going to be for a while.
Which was kind of out of the way of the crowds.
And that's why we did it. But it's not going to be for a while. It's like anything. It will be just fine.
It will be. I know. I mean, I know a lot of people. There are a lot of people. I know some of our friends are upset about this. I really have to be a realist about it. About how often do you do Tom Sawyer? How often do you do Liberty Bell? And unfortunately, if it's Muppets that's going to go, again, how often do you do Muppets? Muppets always has a 5-minute wait. As long as the movie, you've never had to wait for 2 shows to go through because you couldn't get in. I haven't been in there where it's been a packed house in a good 10 years.
I mean, honestly, I thought the love for the Muppets, Disney lost the love for the Muppets when they shut the gift shop down and never reopened it.
Yeah.
And I thought, So to me, that whole back area, the Christmas shop, gone.
Yeah, they never reopened the Christmas shop.
Nope. I used to love that little shop. So that to me is, I could feel that area dying from that.
Yeah.
The little snowman back there all alone.
I know. But when do you go back there, really?
Well, I would have, but if they're going to keep closing things and not opening them, there's no reason to go back there.
No.
Now.
Mm-mm.
So, and they knew it. That's okay.
Right. And it still might be Launch Bay. We don't know.
Yeah, no.
Disney hasn't made that. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, Disney will have announced it because there has been speculation online, and Disney's going to have to squash that speculation and finally say one way or the other where it's going. One thing I do want to see is the restaurant from the movie Harryhausen's, the sushi restaurant. I hope we get that. I would love to see that in Hollywood Studios.
What movie
we
is
need that?
What movie is that from? Clearly
Monsters, Inc.
I don't remember that at all. We need to rewatch the movie.
Celia and Mike go on a date.
I don't
to
remember.
Harryhausen's, the sushi restaurant.
Well, if we got sushi, I would love that. Like, love it. Wow.
So we'll have to see.
We have to watch these shows again, Dave. It's not since, once your kids are... Wait, I shouldn't say that. There are people that watch these movies all the time that have no kids. So I don't...
Yes.
I know.
Well, when they take things away, rides, or refer them to other rides, it just doesn't work out. And I'm hoping that this is not the case. If they do take the Muppets away, they're going to just bulldoze it all down and start fresh and with a new palette, because they've got a record of overpromise and underdeliver.
Well, let's hope they've changed their ways, because you know what? They're watching attendance. They're watching Universal. Mm-hmm. And they cannot fall short. To me, it would be silly for them to fall short on this.
No, Epic Universe is going to be epic. And that's going to pull a lot of people over there.
Yeah. Epic Universe they showed some video of a dragon flying in the sky over Epic Universe that they were testing, and people, losing their minds. Disney had a dragon when New Fantasyland opened. How many years ago was it? 7 years ago, I think. They had a Maleficent dragon fly over just one time, like for the grand opening for the press. 7 years ago. And then we never saw it again. And now they have a dragon over at Epic Universe. And I'm thinking, if I was the Imagineer that worked on that dragon, for them to fly it one time and say, okay, we're never going to do it again, even though I worked on it and I made it work, maybe I went to work at Universal, because where they're actually going to use my know-how and more than once. So I don't know. Somewhere in the Disney archives is a flying dragon.
Well,
take dust that thing off and bring it back.
If they didn't fly it again, it had to be for a reason. Maybe it flew too low. Oh, there's going to be loss.
Well, but it was 7 years ago. They could have worked on it by now.
Well, yes. I will tell you, though, I am going to have to go to Epic Universe. Now, Dave and I, we talk about going to Universal all the time, but it's just on the list. But How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
I know. That's like a sentimental thing to me. So
I know.
We're going to have to go and do that.
Bob Iger's staying true to what he said early in the year about how everything's going to be IP in the park, that almost all future Disney parks, attractions, and lands will be IP based, and it's true. That's what works.
Everything they announced was.
Yep.
I mean, is Walt IP? I guess he's IP now.
Yeah, he is the iconic IP. Yeah.
I guess so.
Hey, if it's profitable.
I wish we were getting Coco, though.
Yeah, I'll say that's one thing. That's one thing that we just touched on, was that Disneyland is getting a Coco water ride, and when the picture came on the screen,
you jumped.
I thought that's the Mexico Pavilion.
Yeah,
the boat looked like Mexico Pavilion, and I was like, that's our Coco ride. And then he said Disneyland, and I was like, what? Because it totally looks like the Mexican Pavilion.
Hey, and Toni-Ann, you've been saying they should do something with Hercules forever, and now they're going to do it on a cruise ship.
On a cruise ship, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean we have to cruise?
Maybe.
Well, if you want to experience it, you're going to have to go on then, 2 or 4 more? They're going to have a small fleet. By the time they're done, their crew with all the cruise ships, they have more ships than most.
They announced, what did they say, 4 or 5 more ships?
I think they're going to be 13 total. Is that it? I don't know. It's a lot. I'm not a cruiser, but if I was.
I know.
You could be a cruiser.
I've been on a cruise.
Yeah,
but I don't care for cruises.
But he won't go again someday.
Oh. I talk about the Yzma Lab roller coaster. Now, Tropical Americas, maybe someday they'll expand it and it can fit in there because Emperor's New Groove takes place in South America. Or Yzma's a villain, so it could go in the villain's lair eventually. So there's still hope. Maybe not in this group of new attractions, but maybe someday there's hope. The only problem is I'm going to be 90 by the time this happens. So,
yeah.
That's another movie I think I'm going to have to see.
Emperor's New Groove? You never saw that?
No.
You have to see that. You have to go watch. Veronika, you have Disney Plus. You can't sue Disney, so you might as well go watch the movies.
Wait, does it count if I got Disney Plus free through my Verizon?
Through Verizon? Probably.
I'm sure I had to sign everything off on Verizon and Disney
Even if you
Plus.
hadn't, Veronika, you have an annual pass. You've signed that same waiver.
I know. So, Dave, when we go to Disney, we have to be very careful.
Don't slip on a banana peel.
No, they're not going to take care of us. You're on your own.
I mean, honestly, I just want to say this. When I heard this whole story, I thought they would have reached out to this family and taken care of them. Like, why did it have to come to this? Unless Disney is like, no, maybe she went to CVS and bought a bag of peanuts. Like, why wouldn't they? I
don't know what the legal standing is, considering that it didn't actually happen in a Disney restaurant.
That could be it. So maybe they're suing the wrong person. I don't know. But
all right. So what do you guys think? That's is that going to be a wrap for this D23 show?
I guess 2027 is when we can start getting excited. I'm not that excited about Test Track and Zootopia, I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. No,
Test Track. Well, Test Track might be, just to change it up, might be okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, a history lesson. Vehicles.
You can't fix that thing. That thing's unfixable.
Oh.
No matter what you do.
Why didn't they announce they were demolishing Mission Space and putting in something cool?
I don't know. But if they keep going along the road that they've been going on, it's going to be worse than it was before, probably.
Wait. So what is the wait time on Mission Space all the time? We're talking about Liberty Bell. Do people do Mission Space?
A lot of people walk right by that building, too. You're right, Veronika. You're not wrong.
Oh. All right.
Maybe if the movie Mars Needs Moms had been more successful, we would have had a new ride by now.
That's next time.
Okay.
They need a Deadpool ride.
They do.
That would be a good one.
I don't know if would he be allowed to be here? Or would he have to?
Close to Universal. I don't know. Can he?
Well, I know Guardians is a different, so they can have Guardians. I don't know
because
where Deadpool lies in that Avengers contract.
Right. think there's a proximity thing.
Yeah, but we were able to have Guardians. Different characters aren't under that contract. I don't know if Deadpool is or not.
I don't know.
So, Veronika, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and sharing your thoughts, your nostalgic thoughts about losing stuff.
No, I just don't want to be in any more food courts. That's all. I'm done with that.
Okay, Veronika.
That's all.
We love you anyway.
Thank you for having me.
Your brother's coming to Disney next month. We're going to have fun.
I know. We're going to be there.
We didn't even talk about that, Dave.
No, but we're
about our bonus content. Let me just tell you guys, we had this bonus episode come out last week. If you didn't catch it, it was Rich. Look for it wherever you find the Disney Crush podcast. We kicked around the idea of that being a Patreon exclusive, and Veronika said, no, the people need Rich. Rich belongs to the people. So Dave had to put it out as bonus content for everyone because we couldn't keep that to ourselves.
Hey.
We had to share Rich with the world.
I'm watching out for everyone. That's right.
And I'm looking for more content with Rich. I'm looking for more conversations with Rich.
If you missed it, it's out there for everyone to listen to. It's Rich. It's a bonus content.
It's a lot of turkeys. Holy mackerel.
With a lot of turkeys.
I don't think Dave's ever used that many turkeys.
No, the turkey.
In one sitting.
he wanted some overtime pay for that one.
And just to be clear, he did, in fact, go on Rise of the Resistance, even though he said he didn't. He did, in fact, go on that.
Well, that's why I questioned him on it when I was talking to him, because I could have swore he went on it, but he just forgot.
He didn't remember that, but he remembered that the bathrooms in Saratoga Springs, the one that people didn't know, that's what he was talking about. The 1 bedroom and the 2 bedroom, because I've stayed in a 2 bedroom too. They have the same bathroom setup where there's literally 5 doors. There's a door to the bedroom. There's a door to the tub. There's a door to the closet. There's a door to the shower. There's a door to the toilet. Then there's a door out to the living room. There are 5 doors. And Gina reminded me, there's also a little door to the washer dryer that right there too, that if you didn't realize would there. So there's actually 6 doors.
Yeah. I started feeling bad.
Crazy.
A little compacted area.
Oh my word. Yeah, no, that would be crazy.
I felt bad for him.
In the middle of the night when you're trying to find the toilet.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. He was traumatized. He was traumatized by the doors, and he was traumatized by Slinky Dog. Poor guy.
Yep.
Well,
so much so that he didn't remember riding Rise of the Resistance.
Right.
I cannot wait for September because we'll be there with him, and we haven't been to Disney with Richie since the kids were young.
Little.
And he called Kevin Curtis Allen. Yeah, what's his name? All right, you two.
All right.
That's a wrap for this week.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Good night.
That's going to do it for this week's Disney Crush podcast. So say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Go ride Dinosaur and the Liberty Bell.
Hurry up. Hurry.
I think that's it. All right.